Ladies and gentlemen, madame, monsieur, hello and welcome to channel of Blue. My name is Oliver and today I'm going to present you another Wargame European Escalation replay cast. And what I'm going to show you today is a match of the 7th round of the Wargame Cup, which is ongoing at the moment. I think everybody knows what the Wargame Cup is, a one-on-one tournament organised by Focus Home and Active themselves with a lot of prizes to win. What we're going to see here today is one of the matches from the last round that has been played. That's round 7, currently we're in round 8. And the two players you see here are pretty popular, not popular but well known, Bentguru and WolfEater, with Bentguru being a name to many people who have been here for a long time. That was the guy who was famous for his model WC8 rushes, and when we take a look at his deployment here on straight ahead, you can see that this really looks like a rush. You can see a whole lot of Riesel MK20s, I think you're in all of them, a whole lot of Marder VTS ones, which seem to be favorite unit of Bentguru, a few very cheap recon units, and the recoilless rifles, which are also a clear sign of a spammy deployment. Here you can see a lot of infantry in VIBs. I suspect those are chasseurs from Mars or just chasseurs, and a few AML-90 links, one Gazelle which is standard, and one Lonely Leopard 2A4. I guess he will be microing this like crazy. In terms of commands, he only owns one command, a Sultan over here, protected by 3 Marder Rolands. He seems to be very afraid of a helo rush, and 2 Riesel MK20 and 2 VIPs with some more infantry. So he has a whole lot of stuff in that forward to protect his command. But if we take a look over at Pact's deployment, at WolfEater's deployment, also a very high elo player, I think 1900 and something, you can see he's deploying a lot less spammy from what it looks like. He still has very cheap units, which is kind of trend we're having at the moment. A lot of infantry and cheap vehicles like the Salos, but he also has a bit of more expensive kind of stuff like the BMP 685 or those helos. He also has one transport helo loaded with infantry and one Mi-8, which is there for fighting preparedness, I guess, but I don't really get the point of this version of the helicopter, because this has actually no missile pods and the other 2 weapons are pretty pointless, so I'm pretty curious to find out what he has planned to do with them. It doesn't seem like he wants to attempt taking the zones on the right side. Both of them rather seem to attempt to get to the middle zones as fast as possible. In terms of command, he also has only one command, and in this case the cheap command, which is very unpopular. But you see, everything is possible in high elo, everything is possible in Wargame, so all those stereotypes of unarmored commands to be unviable are pretty wrong in my opinion, but that's popular belief, so well. Unarmored commands are not that bad of an idea with Pact, considering that they don't have a lot of very well armed commands. In fact, they have none. The BRDM to use only take for its double amount of hit points, not for its armor. So we see WolfEater is going for a fast expansion into the mid with this very little airdrop, but it's still an airdrop, and this kind of air support in order to prevent NATO from landing there, or he's probably hoping to be able to shred a few of their cheap units before their anti-air arrives, which is pretty far behind. Where's the anti-air? If there is even any. Oh, there's the anti-air. It's pretty far behind, so you can see that this might be a good idea if he wouldn't fly his helos right into Riesel MK20 machine gun range, because such a 20mm autocannon is pretty nasty against any kind of helos if they get too close. Now, where is he going with his MI-17? I expected it to go into that forest, but it seems like he's going somewhere else. Apparently Foxtrot, or at least the street to Foxtrot. And now he's doing, yeah, now he's unloading the Reaper ZU and shooting the Weasel MK20, which is the most sensible thing to do. Because shredding those with MI-17s is probably the best thing you can do as a back player. And the MTIR is nowhere to be seen, it's back there actually. It seems like, I'm sorry for that, I really should turn that off. It seems like Bentguru has given up Alpha Zone and is not having any resupply zones at the moment, while WolfEater actually has capped Gulf and is now expanding into Hotel with a second command. So WolfEater is playing a bit more conservative here, while Bentguru is more playing in a rushy style. So you see that's a very large blob, and MLRs would do wonders against that, but both players apparently do not have any kind of artillery with them, not even mortars as far as I have seen, which is another thing that's unusual for lower ELO players, but is quite, that you can see quite often in higher ELO games, because, well, for some reason it doesn't seem to pay off. I really think an MLRS would have helped here, because chopping down that rush would have been of so much value for WolfEater. So Tailors versus Modern WTS1s, that is not going to end well for the Tailors, because, well, the Weasel MK20s are chopping them down. So WolfEater is already on the retreat out of Hotel, but he's now launching a little poking attack with some infantry forces into Delta and is forcing the Sultan command vehicle to flee out of the zone. Though I don't think that this attack will last for very long, considering the amount of defense Bentguru has set up over there. Yeah, he has set chasseurs, not just Samars, which was pretty typical for him and which he has always done, which I never understood, but well, it seems like every kind of unit is worth being tried out, even if it just serves. So the main force of Bentguru is now being located between Hotel and Delta, with no zone taken by him, while WolfEater has occupied Gulf. Though I think this will change very soon. Regarding game mode, we are playing 1500 starting points, total destruction and 40 minutes time limit, which is the standard in Wargame Cup games. So yeah, those MI-17s are pretty pointless against this number of Marderolans. Now, I have to say he has pretty much clumped them up, which he's doing with all of his army, so oh, that is so hurting my eyes sometimes. I really don't criticize him because he's doing it very well, but an MLRS shot would just do wonders against that kind of blob. And wow, that is not looking well for WolfEater here. His army seems to be totally decimated and spread over the whole map. That is not looking good for him. Points wise, it's 700 to 400 Bentguru, so that rush seems to have really paid off for now. So this Leopard 2i4 is now being harassed by an MI-17 with no anti-air to be seen anywhere close at the moment, which is a thing Bentguru seems to like to do very often. He just clumps his Marderolans in one place, which I don't quite understand. While those MI-17s can actually do some damage. Not to the Leopard, because I guess he can't see it, but at least to his lesser units. So now the MI-17 is being harassed by the VABs, and those may even No, they don't kill it, but they at least scare it away and rout it, which is very valuable. And wow, there is not much left of WolfEater's army, and that was pretty fast. So he has command, 2 shulkers, few helicopters, another command, which is quite a good thing for him. I don't really know how he wants to protect that. And a bit of very badly positioned infantry scattered across the whole map. That is not looking good for WolfEater after only 7 minutes into the game. He has a few motors largely left in the town, but that won't help him anything against the sector being occupied by the Southern Command vehicle back there in the forest. Now even his last Mi-17 gets shot down by a Marder on 2. So it really doesn't look all that good. But he seems to have some pretty many resources, because he's now calling in some recoilless rifles on max watt, and this is a unit you never see in the game, at least not in casual games. That is a 20 points unit on max watt. That is 40 points for one of them, if I'm not mistaken. For a unit which then has 4 accuracy, if I'm not mistaken, again, and 6 AP value, while not being very fast and cheap, therefore being unarmored. I've never tried that unit out. It may be worth its money, but I'm not 100% sure about that, and I'm very curious to find out what WolfEater has planned with those. Because this is a unit we really never see on the battlefield, at least not on regular battlefields, and I would really much like to see how a high-elo player turns this unit good. I think we will see. So what WolfEater now seems to be doing is focusing on the sectors on the other side of the river, which are very easy to defend due to the bridges. So that is a very smart move, I think. You now need points in order to catch up with the points of Bentguru, and therefore he needs a 3-point zone, and therefore taking India is the most logical thing to do. So Bentguru now, WolfEater now even has 1 point more of income than Bentguru has. On the other hand, destruction points wise, it is not looking that good for WolfEater at the moment, with 860 to 450 point for NATO for Bentguru. So that is a miserable situation for WolfEater, I'd say. That is, you can probably get a pretty good position in that forest. I think he now has to play very defensively in order to pull off a win, and to hope for mistakes of Bentguru. So if Bentguru attacks, he may actually get butchered, because WolfEater is now calling in sailors, recoilless rifles, conquerors, jeeps, and infantry, and has air support. So it's not that less, and he's now calling in, what is very interesting, a Malka. Long range, high power HE7 artillery, probably the best piece of tube artillery in the game, if you ask me. And that's about time. I really ask myself when the first of those is going to use RT, because sooner or later it come to this point. One piece may not be that effective, but it's something. So Bentguru is now trying to rush down India, and he's not taking the whole of his forces, he's just taking a little battle group to get over that river, and I'm not sure if that isn't an issue, a mistake, because WolfEater's defenses are actually not that bad. Those recoilless rifles are pretty strong against low armored targets, as long as they hit, and it could use something they should on max spread at least, just a bit. So you're now clumping up on that bridge. I really dislike his kind of clumping. Not because it's bad, just because it's looking horrible. I don't want to criticize him, he's a lot better player than I am, but you know, it just looks horrible. So there is no anti-air again. That is something he's doing all the time. The Marvel is coming way too late. And my 17s are able to budget down a lot of his forces. Recallers Rifles are able to slay down quite a few vehicles. Now the Marvel is here, but it's nearly out of rockets as well. After only having shot down one Mi-17, Command had to retreat out of the zone briefly, but is now coming back as WolfEater starts to realize that this is not that much of a threat as he thought. Leopard 284 is also being used for this attack, and bit of luck, a whole lot of luck. He may actually destroy that Leopard, which would be so unfortunate for Bentguru. Not quite sure why he leaves his Leopard there. So WolfEater has managed to push out NATO out of India, and therefore securing India. I think Bentguru has made the mistake of not taking his opponent serious enough, because I think that this battle group is simply too small to capture India, especially considering the large amount of defense WolfEater has got there, the relatively large amount of defense. So point-wise it's now not that horrible. It's 900 to 600 for Bentguru, so that was an ineffective attack for Bentguru. WolfEater has made quite some points by that, and has now gained a bit of an advantage again, and is catching up to the point value of Bentguru. So I guess that both of them are now trying to play very defensively, especially Bentguru, as he wants to secure his lead and therefore doesn't want to commit his army into a well-prepared defense again, which was the mistake he just did. Now on the other hand, you have to consider that WolfEater is now owning Amalka and therefore is in a better harassing position and can harass Bentguru to leave certain positions, which is very, very effective against that kind of defensive play we're seeing at the moment. Recall's rifle is charging into the motor strategy squad in the town, which is not a good idea. Though it has survived, that it was luck in my opinion. What we can note in this game is a prevalence of recallers rifles on Maxwell. Both of them have that. Well, this is something you don't see that very often in casual games. So we have the US recallers rifle on Maxwell here, and we have the Russian recallers rifle on Maxwell over here. Those units have, yeah, they can be quite useful. I think they're good in butchering lower armored targets due to their AP6 or 7 heat. What heat means is that the AP isn't scaling with the range you're closing into your target, so no matter if you're 10 meter or 2 kilometers in front of your target, you will always do the same AP damage, which is not the case with regular AP rounds, which are scaling with range. So that is one of the main disadvantages of the recoil rifles. On the other hand, they are a very cheap way to obtain a high AP value, but you are nearly forced to wet them on the max because they have a base accuracy of 2. If I'm not mistaken, that is a hit chance of 10%, and as you might imagine, that is not a whole lot. So it seems like NATO now also has got some kind of artillery though I'm not 100% sure where it is. To be honest, I really didn't know where it is. Well, I won't be looking for it now. What WolfEater has done is saving up for another command to completely secure this side of the river, which is obviously the most sensible thing to do, because those two sectors are the easiest to defend on this map due to the simple fact that those bridges are hindering any kind of attack, as we have just seen. So what WolfEater seems to be trying is getting the economical advantage over Bentguru, which he is doing pretty well because he's earning 1 point more than Bentguru at the moment. That's not huge, but it is something. Also, Bentguru is now forced to give up his 3-point sector because the Malka is heavily damaging the command vehicle, which only has 2 hit points left. So that is pretty unlucky for him. So you see, the Malka is actually doing quite a lot, because it's denying total zone for quite a bit of time and has heavily damaged the Sultan. So another lucky hit might actually kill the Sultan, which would be something WolfEater could really need right now. WolfEater is now playing the harassing game, playing very defensively while trying to sneak off some points of artillery and AEGMs. Perfect example of that kind of playstyle here. Oh, that might get very bad for the Sultan. Oh goodness, that is only 1 health point. That would be so unlucky for Bentguru if this command would get down. But it seems like this is not gonna happen. This is really unlucky for Bentguru. So the command now has to retreat and get repaired, which is in more than dire need of repair. I mean, look at that, it's already burning. So artillery is a very effective tool, and I'm really wondering that both of those don't have any artillery in their starting deployment, especially Bentguru. But Bentguru is known for a very offensive, kind of rushy style of play. He has always done that, and he has done that to an excess, while the Marder WTS1s were severely overpowered a few months ago. So he seems to have kept that style, and he's known for that style. But I'm not sure if it is that great of an idea to completely not take any artillery at all, because artillery is a great harassing tool, as we have just seen, because that Sultan might as well have gone down and given WolfEater 200 points. So we are now 20 minutes into the game, and I will pause this video here, upload the first part now, and upload the second part sometime later, so that it's easier for me to make and easier for you to watch. I think you enjoy those short videos more than one huge 40 minutes video. At least I think so. If this is not the case, please, by all means, do write so in the comments. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I would very much appreciate your likes, subscribes, and most of all, your comments. Thank you. We are only